Mobo is 20.
The Mobos have really helped put urban music in the forefront of the industry.
What the Mobos has done over the 20 years is really harness the whole concept of music of black origin.
We all felt like we were a part of something fresh.
It was one of those moments where it was like, whoa, I really want to do this.
There's always kind of just been a spearhead for kind of giving people an opportunity and giving you that drive and hunger to want to achieve something.
You kind of want to be there, be a part of it. This has such a rich history in Mobo.
For 2 decades, the Mobo Awards have celebrated and championed the best in urban music and culture, playing host to some of the biggest international names and proudly flying the flag for homegrown.
Miss Amy Winehouse.
Professor Green!
From humble beginnings...
It was rough around the edges. It was obviously, you know, never been done before like that.
Attracting the attention of genuine legends.
I feel so fortunate to be a part of this.
Turning fresh faces into familiar faces and cementing itself not just as a drop-everything date in the award show calendar, but as a key player in the music industry.
The Mobos really pushed and funneled the whole UK black explosion through.
I feel that the Mobo Awards is a direct reflection of what is happening right now.
This is the story of Mobo. Urban artists have never had it so good. Grime, hip-hop, drum and bass and R&B are regular residents of the top 10. UK rappers are proudly polishing their platinum discs, and seeing Tiny Temper do his thing is second nature to British viewers, making it easy to forget that a pre-Mobo world was a very different place. 1996 was a dramatic year for black culture, with the death of Tupac and Ella Fitzgerald in America. In the UK, while Nelson Mandela visited London, Britpop was riding high and the Spice Girls were part of a new era in pop. But on the fringes of the charts, something was stirring and just needed a chance to break through.
UK record labels didn't quite know how to market black music.
In the 90s, it was a different era in the sense that the record companies had such a control over what was getting played on the radio, and what records were getting released over here, what artists were getting supported. And you couldn't really make it happen for yourself as an independent.
I always remember when I came out musically, we were still very much kind of dominated by the Americans when it came to the urban music scene.
I think music of black origin has always been underrepresented in the UK because there wasn't really any channels for us.
The street needed something. We needed our own award show. We had all the big American shows, and we had the Brits, which meant nothing. You'd never get invited, you wouldn't be part of, and the artists wouldn't mean anything.
The Mobos really pushed and funneled the whole, if you like, the UK black explosion.
In an era before social media, artists and labels relied on TV and radio to get the word out. But when it came to urban music, the big fish just weren't biting.
In those early days, Kanye King was such a pioneer of it. Like, she was like single-handedly fighting the fight.
It was up to Kanye King, a television researcher with a passion for urban culture, to take the plunge.
We had 6 weeks to put it on. That wasn't going to put me off. In fact, that made me even more determined.
Kanye doesn't know this, where we all met up and said, look, we should support this, get our bosses to buy a table. So the first one had more pressure on it than she would ever know.
The stakes were really high. To make that first ceremony a reality, Kenya had to go to extreme lengths. The only way to finance the first show was for her to remortgage her house.
That wasn't an easy decision to make, and I remember, you know, being really hesitant about telling my mother that this is what I was going to do. I was just so determined that the very first show, we were going to pull out all the stops to make sure it was kind of grand. It started on time, it was professional, all the talent were there.
Her reputation was on the line, her home was on the line.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first Mobo Awards.
For Kanya, it was crunch time.
This is our first one, it certainly won't be the last. So let's get on with the show.
Mobo's first outing featured performances from US R&B star Alexander O'Neal, jazz musician Courtney Pine, and Jamaican reggae duo Shakademus and Pliers. Winners on the night included the Fugees, Tupac, Gabrielle, and the Mobo for Best Jungle Act.
The winner is Goldie! Yes!
Special thanks to Jazzy B, who supported British music and took it around the world, and I think that's something to be proud of, to come back to England.
Jazzy B and Soul to Soul were pioneers, defining the odds in 1989 to score a UK #1. Mobo was quick to recognise that achievement with the first ever contribution to Black Music Award.
This is the first award that I've actually received in the UK, so it's a real pleasure. I think some of the concept of what Kanye was trying to do at the time was just recognise black music, because prior to the Mobos coming along, I guess mainstream, we only had sort of Top of the Pops and the Brit Awards sort of thing, which wasn't really conducive to our style of music.
Jazzy B is near enough God. He's not God, but he's near enough God. What him and the whole Soul to Soul movement did again was create a subconsciousness which wasn't there before.
You've got to say thanks for Kanye and all the work and effort that she did at that time, giving us that award, because I do believe that helped to put Soul to Soul on the map.
By the time Lionel Richie proudly clutched his Lifetime Achievement Award, the Mobos had gone from an idea to an institution.
It was just a thrilling night, and it just kind of went in a kind of whirlwind. But I just remember the fact that it was the first one, and it was fun.
I remember on the table next to me was Tony Blair, and this is when Tony Blair was the man.
And I think his wife was with him. Tony Blair wasn't Prime Minister yet, but he was pretty darn a good shot, you know, to get it.
Sitting on these tables were some real street guys flossing. You can't take that away from Mobo. It was so powerful on the street.
I think most people were more intrigued and pleasantly surprised that it went fairly well.
The Mobos had been a success, and while that first ceremony had been an intimate affair compared to the arena spectaculars of today, it planted the seeds for 20 years of slick, noisy celebration of urban. The industry, the music fans, and crucially the stars of tomorrow were all paying attention.
The Mobos, for us, it was like the only time you could just, you know, turn on your TV without having cable and put it on a general channel and get to see urban acts and hear urban music and watch people win awards. So for me, it really did help urban music as a whole.
Coming up, Mobo gives some of today's biggest stars an early platform.
The winner is Destiny's Child.
And the golden era for UK urban was just about to commence.
Please don't let them call my name again.
For 2 decades, Mobo have been setting the pace for urban music and culture, and that legacy is set to continue with the 2015 ceremony, marking the 20th annual Mobo Awards. The first ceremony in 1996 was a massive success.
Take care.
But it was never destined to be a one-off. The event returned in 1997, bigger, brighter, and boldly British. Mobo has always showcased new talent. In 1997, a new fresh-faced girl group wowed the audience at the Connaught Rooms, All Saints.
When the Mobos came along, it was really inspiring to see, you know, something from black culture, you know, given its props, given its due on a public and a mainstream scale.
But it wasn't just future Mobo winners who are picking up on the importance of the award. Soon-to-be Prime Minister David Cameron enjoyed Mobo hospitality in its early years.
I remember growing up up watching the Mobos and it really being, for me, the biggest commercial urban event there was going.
1998 saw Beverly Knight win the award for Best R&B Act. Over the next decade, she picked up another 3. Homegrown talent like Beverly was rubbing shoulders with some of the biggest stars on the planet.
Still can't believe you're gonna give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life. Oh God, every step I take.
Stars that were getting in on the award action.
Puff Daddy and the family!
I like to share this with my brother Beanie Man. Beanie Man, come up here and share this with me, black man. Beanie Man, come up here and share this with your brother one time.
The rapturous Mobo reception for Beanie Man's appearance on stage prompted a record label to sign him internationally. As the millennium drew to a close, the Mobo Awards, still only a toddler at this point, was carrying some serious clout in the music industry. More hip-hop heavyweights were getting comfy in business class and making their way across the Atlantic. Rap superstar Jay-Z made his debut in 1999.
For dropping some of the hottest verses rappers ever heard. From the dope spot with the smoke block flinging the murder scene. You know me well from nightmares of a lonely cell. My only hell was since when y'all know me to fail.
And inevitably, Mobo also caught a few superstars on their way up. Destiny's Child picked up the award for Best International R&B Act.
Where you at? Come on, y'all.
Wow, this is a surprise. We really didn't expect that, being in a category with such wonderful artists. So first of all, we want to give all praises to our Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Such was the power of Mobo. Even at this point, artists notoriously wary of the public eye were tempted onto the Mobo stage.
When I was at school in the 80s, we had Sade Ramos referring to her as coffee table music. That's probably because everybody had a coffee table and everybody had Sade's album.
After a break of almost half a decade, Sade returned exclusively to perform on the Mobo stage.
It was incredible growing up and having her music and listening to her, and then knowing that I'm going to be gracing the same stage that she would perform at, and knowing that she hadn't done a performance for years, and this was her new album and new song, and being like, just seeing how beautiful she was in the flesh.
The Mobos had grown from a low-key industry dinner to a high-gloss, big-noise event. And it wasn't just the great and the good of urban music that rocked up. The sporting world also got on the Mobo train, and one or two unlikely celebrity supporters.
I'm supposed to go yo then, aren't I?
No, Dale, just
yeah, okay,
just
right.
do the nomination.
The millennium rang in, and something big was coming for UK Urban, a little taster of which was provided by that year's big winner.
When I think back of my first time actually attending the Mobos and being up for awards, kind of excitement, a little bit of fear thrown into the mix. I mean, I'm a young kid, and all of a sudden I've kind of been swept up in all this success.
And the winner is Craig David. Fill me in. Craig David. Craig David.
So 3 Mobo Awards for Craig was huge for him. I mean, to the point that he walked up there with "Buy British" on his jumper.
Nigel Melville, who was a stylist at the time. We were going through different outfits, and he's like, "This is the one you need to wear." Like, at first, it was just like the back of a jumper, like red jumper. I goes, "Ain't nobody wants to rock no turtleneck jumper, grandma jumper back." Then he flipped it around, and he had the whole "Buy British." I was like, "Oh, see, you got me, you got me."
And this makes me proud to be British. Do you know what I mean?
That was, for me, that was possibly the most important night, that night, when he won those awards because it told everybody out there who's a singer-songwriter from the UK, who like garage, R&B, whatever, that you can do it.
Another key moment from 2000 came when a controversial, high-profile presenter took on hosting duties and got the column inches rolling in.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez was such an amazing artist.
I can see.
I've been backstage doing all the hard work.
You've been changing, that's what you've been doing.
Hard work, that's the hard work I've been doing.
For me, getting to see her, and there's been some great stars, but she was this little living legend who was just so gorgeous, so cute and so intelligent.
Even though she kind of was small in stature, she was kind of large in terms of personality.
So reap my soul to keep the passion deep and filled with heat.
Living the cycle of hustle, I'm ready.
Get enough time.
She was just someone who was so talented. She was cut short in terms of what she would have gone on to achieve.
2001, I hosted the Mobo Awards with Khalees.
I'm Khalees, and this is Trevor, and it is about to be one hell of a show.
No, she's pretending. It's going to be one hell of a show.
It was the year, obviously, of 9/11. And I remember doing a couple of interviews with Khalees before the Mobos. She was knitting something. She knits. So she was knitting something in the middle of all our interviews. And I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm just knitting something. And she knitted something as a tribute to the New York Fire Department. A lot of people wondering who was going to come over because a lot of people refused to fly, were too scared to fly. Now, the most notorious person who's scared to fly anyway, regardless, is R. Kelly. He doesn't fly. With what happened at 9/11, he was almost going to be a no-show, I think. And what happened in the end, he came and he did a very poignant performance.
In the end, R. Kelly travelled for 3 days on the QE2 to be able to attend the award show in London.
And it was dedicated to everyone who lost their lives at 9/11, and it was a huge moment.
Another stellar performance from a US superstar that night came from Usher.
All my people that know what's going on, just look at your mate. Help me sing my song, tell her I'm your man. You're my girl, I'm gonna tell it to the whole
R. Kelly and Usher were just two examples of how the Mobos had always been keen to welcome and celebrate the biggest US acts. That same night, the Mobo Awards also marked the start of something homegrown and something big.
Everyone was recognising that the garage thing was going off, and it was different, and it was UK, and it was special. Come 99, 2000, it was a different world to the Americans. They were just like, what is this? It's kind of like Wu-Tang, but it's not, because they got like 20 more men than Wu-Tang ever had.
At the time, the UK music scene was really vibrant and garage music was really taking over, and there was something in the air. And we all felt like we were a part of something fresh and something innovative and something new. And we were all a part of this clique, and the garage scene was special. And I feel like that night at the Mobo Awards, we were all celebrating that.
To be involved in one-of-a-kind stage performance of Mobos is the most amazing feeling, because nothing ever tops what So Solid had done.
So Solid won their award. It was unreal, unprecedented. Every time they won an award, 20,000 young black kids got up on the stage.
Yo, So Solid, we're never gonna stop. Trust.
So Solid crew picked up 2 Mobo Awards on the night for Best UK Garage and Best Newcomer. Once UK Garage had firmly planted the Union Jack on the Mobo stage, it kick-started a golden era for British artists, taking urban to the mainstream.
sisters out there, yeah? Let me tell you one thing. You don't need to take off your clothes. You don't need to have a big bumper and big breasts, because I ain't got none of that, you get me? It's about what's in your mind. Sisters, go true. I'm taking this one for you. All right.
Yeah, it was a massive achievement, and I felt totally humbled, you know, by it. But it kind of got a little bit like, please don't let them call my name again.
In 2003, the awards moved back to the iconic Royal Albert Hall and featured a stand-up performance by Mystique featuring the renowned Redman.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I think it was one of the best performances that night. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Redman appeared, and then the faces, when I looked around the audience, just lit up because everyone loves Redman. And to see him there with us it was big kudos for us.
British artists were taking over, and they had a leg up from Mobo.
Jamelia!
Jamelia!
I've only just recovered from getting the other award, so thank you so much.
Jaylee Cullum.
In case anyone's forgotten what the Mobos are about after all the stuff you've been reading about, I'm a British artist who's almost exclusively influenced by other British artists, particularly black British artists, particularly Julian Joseph, Courtney Pine, Dennis Baptiste, my heroes. So that's what the Mobos are about, and it's an absolute honour to be here and accept this award. Thank you very much. Cheers.
It says it on the can, it's music of black origin. So whether you're a black artist that has been influenced by black music or a white artist that's been influenced by black music, that is what the Mobos is about.
Coming up, Mobo goes from strength to strength, as do the newcomers it's championing.
How many do I have?
And a whole new genre sends British artists stratospheric. Just ahead of the Mobo Awards 2015, we're taking a look back at 20 massive Mobo years. Halfway through the noughties, the Mobo Awards are now defined as a musical and cultural benchmark. 2005 was a big year. It was the first time Mobo, and indeed any mainstream award show, celebrated African music.
Africa, stand up, man! We finally been nominated!
And Public Enemy won the Outstanding Contribution to Black Music Award.
Will you make some noise for Chuck T, Public Enemy?
I was at a Mobo Awards some years back, and I'm very proud of the fact that the United Kingdom, the rappers, the community, represent with class, eloquence, and just incredible performances, way better than anybody else in the world.
Aside from the legends, the show also has a history of catching international artists on their way to superstardom. This was cemented by an early performance from Rihanna. She attracted praise for her performance and lifted the Mobo for Best International Act.
Thanks to you guys, thanks to the fans in the UK, thank you so much for giving me the love and support.
2007 saw Robin Thicke take to the Mobo stage, 6 years before Blurred Lines. British artists continue to get a leg up from the Mobo Awards, and one act certainly felt the benefit of a Mobo win.
It was also a really emotional time for us because Dappy's dad and my uncle, who was our manager, had literally just passed away. I think me and Daps already had a few tears running down our eyes before the award was even read out. Dappy was literally sat there with his leg shaking under the table.
And the nominees are...
In his head, he thought he'd already lost it and was getting ready to kick off. And I was thinking, oh no, and I was looking at him and holding his hand under the table and I was squeezing it so tight and he was squeezing mine and I was like, look, if you don't get it, it's fine, don't kick off. Because he wanted it so badly, and obviously for him, his father passing was so emotional.
And the winner is... N-Dubz!
Once the name was read out and we heard N-Dubz, it was just this moment of complete euphoria. We just couldn't believe it. I was just overwhelmed, I was shocked, looking around the table. And before I could even look at Dappy to give him a hug, he was already halfway towards the stage. I was like, oh, he's off, he's gone.
Thank you to most of all, I want to say thank you to my dad. Rest in peace, R.I.P. Thank you very much, N-Dubz, Delisa.
I just want to say a big thank you to the fans, because you're the one that got us here.
And I think for like the next 2 years, and we were announced everywhere we went as, you know, Mobo Award winners, and it put a lot to our name and gave us a lot more pulling power in the industry.
The Mobo's proud history of creating a platform for emerging UK talent was unique in the industry, and for Urban Acts, that platform was pivotal.
The Mobos is really important because I will always go back to that point. It's a platform. You know, if people can't hear or see what you do, how can they buy into you? How can they buy into your music? So by giving people an opportunity to discover new talent or to discover artists that they might not have come across before, it's so important for the industry. It's really healthy.
When I went to a nominations party, there was a little known artist called Amy Winehouse. I'd never heard of her. Not many people had.
Amy Winehouse performed at the Mobo nominations launch early on in her career and came back a few years later at the O2 Arena.
A year and a bit later, her album was nominated for this, it was that. She changed music for what it was, and that's only a good thing. So I think the Mobos has really helped the industry.
Mobo was instrumental in the breakthrough of new artists, and towards the end of the decade, young British talent was pushing through.
And the winner is...
JLS!
JLS! JLS!
And what you see in Liverpool? And what else?
Previous Mobo champions weren't just paving the way for new talent, they were getting them up on stage. An unsigned Rita Ora joined Craig David at the 2008 show.
During the Mobos in 2008, I was so scared. I was like so nervous. I mean, it was like a big deal. It was my first ever performance like on national TV at an award show.
Rita wasn't even credited on this Craig David single, but it gave her a taste of the big time and set her on her own path.
It was one of those moments where it was like, whoa, I really want to do this. I really want this. And so from that day on, my drive just went up like 10 notches.
For all the young artists enjoying Mobo's success, it was important to acknowledge the origin part of the Mobo name. Over the years, the awards shone a light on a number of true legends. From the first ever awards in 1996, where Jazzy B and Lionel Richie were honoured.
It is an absolute pleasure to receive this.
Many a deserving icon from the world of black music have been recognised with a tribute to their legacy.
This is a special honour for me because I've been in the business since 1960 and I've never had such an honour.
I see all of you.
beautiful and handsome young people, and I think about how far you'll take this music in the years to come.
The legend continues. The work continues. We must carry on.
We thank you so very much for receiving us, loving our music, and loving for who we are.
I would like to say it is a complete honor to have been given this wonderful, wonderful award.
What can I say?
In America, I've had different awards, but you know, this one was homegrown. This one was different.
These were the musicians whose influence had shaped the stars of today, but there was one artist in particular whose importance was impossible to contest.
So many artists have been influenced by Michael Jackson. There was no question in my mind that we had to do a tribute. It just had to happen.
Michael Jackson videos was the first time I really got excited about pop music because they were just out of this world.
Bad, Thriller, Leave Me Alone was the first 7-inch that I ever bought.
The Mobo tribute to Michael is the only one in Europe supported by the Jackson family.
I'd like to say just on behalf of my brother and the family and Mobo Awards, thank you very much.
2 years later, the tragic passing of Amy Winehouse was commemorated by her goddaughter, Dionne Bromfield. Poignantly, Amy had asked to perform at the ceremony, a wish she would never fulfill. Without many of these artists, it's safe to say today's musicians will be telling a very different story. Back to 2011, a year which marked the explosion of Jessie J. Her mantelpiece would strain under the weight of 4 Mobos: Best Song, Best Album, Best Newcomer and Best UK Act.
Jessie J!
Jessie J! Jessie J! Jessie J! I did not expect to win that at all. I just want to say the biggest thank you to my fans, because I watched this last year by myself in my living room and no one knew who I was.
And UK females continue to dominate in the coming years.
Rita Ora!
Laura Mvula.
Laura Mvula!
These are my first real awards, so I think about them fondly and I treasure them.
Emily Sunday!
Thank you, Liverpool. First of all, I'd just like to thank my wonderful family, my mom, my dad, my sister, God, everyone that made this possible, and for the Mobos for supporting me before I was on anybody else's radar.
The girls are riding high, but the boys are not going to be left behind. Labyrinth, come in. Earthquake took home the Mobo for Best Song in 2012.
Thank you very much.
A year later, Sam Smith and Naughty Boy's hefty Mobo win also proved the fellas could do it just as well.
About your new messiah, 'cause your theories catch fire. I can't find your silver lining. I don't mean to judge.
Sam Smith,
stay with me.
Naughty Boy featuring Sam Smith. Sam Smith. Naughty Boy, La 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 featuring Paul Smith.
I just want to say thank you to Mobos. I've watched this program since I was a kid, especially you, Miss Gabrielle, especially you. Dreams do come true, Gabrielle. They do.
first time I went to the Mobos was actually to watch a performance of one of my songs. It was a song called Diamond Rings that I did with Chipmunk and Emily Sandé. I've never been to the Mobos and walked out feeling like, you know, anything but excitement, even when I wasn't nominated.
And as the years rolled on, those big British triumphs just kept on coming.
Need to thank our parents for all those times when we were really, really broke and they were obliged to let us live in their houses. So thank you very much. My mum's with us.
One of my favourite Mobo Award memories was performing at the Mobos for the first time ever with Rudimental. The first award ceremony I'd ever been a part of, and that's why it's so special to me, mainly because it was the very first experience that I had of that kind of environment, and it was absolutely electrifying. And especially to be on stage with the boys, there's nothing like it, really.
Apparently, that Rudimental performance was good training. Just 1 year later, Ella Eyre was there under her own steam.
Dry your eyes, Mr. Wise Guy. Go take a picture, it's the latest that you will see. Let's
But it was an absolutely unforgettable moment to win the Mobo. I didn't even have a speech. I just went up and made it up because I didn't even want to give myself that false hope that I might win, so I just didn't even think about it.
Oh my goodness. I did not expect that, so I don't really have many words.
I'd always watch it and like dream of being a part of it, but never really thinking it was a realistic goal.
Coming up, one genre in particular proved the uniqueness of UK urban.
Grime today is the UK's hip-hop.
As the red carpet is rolled out for the 20th Mobo Awards, we look at the future of Mobo.
Supporting those talented individuals, that's what the future of Mobo should be about.
It's all about to kick off. The 20th anniversary of the Mobo Awards is ready to blow up. And if the previous 19 shows are any indication, it's gonna be big. In the past few years, UK artists have soared. The decade so far has seen one genre in particular rising from the underground. One that a Mobo mainstay predicted a few years earlier.
There's a lot of UK heat out there. People like my man Akala, Boy Better Know, Lethal Bizzle, Kano. Got to pay attention to that, you know what I mean?
Grime today is the UK's hip-hop.
Just as garage had done at the turn of the century, grime was here to make a statement, draped in a Union Jack.
You can toughen up or get thrown around. You can get 1 free 5 an ounce. Let me tell you how it's going down.
It was big, brash, and unashamedly British. And as grime began to blow up, Mobo was ready with its finger on the pulse.
Of course, Wiley's the godfather of grime. You know, Wiley is the godfather of grime, end of story.
The Mobo Awards were the first to recognise grime back in 2010. Mobo gave grime artists a direct path from the streets, sending the likes of Stormzy straight into your living rooms.
The Mobo is bringing on the grime category, the fact that it's putting artists like myself and all the other nominees live on television in front of a 1 million+ audience, an audience that is a bit difficult to reach with that by just social media or just YouTube or just radio. That can only be a good thing.
Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I could never imagine this.
Our Mobo experience is sick. We've been sick all the time, so. Last year's been crazy, man. It's just been up and up since the Mobo.
Krept and Kono were unsigned when they won the Best Newcomer in 2013, and just 4 days later, they were signed.
It gives you that hope and that inspiration to keep going and just to say that it's working, man. Do you know what I mean? Because you could do a lot of things and there's nothing really to tell you that it's working and you're getting somewhere. And when you get that mobile, it's like it's working and actually all the work I've been doing in the studio, it means something.
I remember one year, Nelly was the only American artist on the show, and to be honest, no disrespect to Nelly, no one really cared. They were more excited about Tiny Temper, you know, about his performance on there and people like that. And, you know, that is probably a day Mobo have been praying for a long, long time.
In celebration of Grime, 5 MCs came together for a one-off exclusive performance. Grime is a crucial part of the Mobos in 2015. But music is ever-changing, and Mobo are always looking ahead. The Mobo Unsung scheme is the perfect example.
I guess Mobo Unsung happened organically, really. We wanted to kind of support a more emerging talent and try and help them to have careers in the music industry. We're providing seminars in conjunction with PRS for Music, and PRS for Music Foundation has been supporting us, as well as the Arts Council. And this year we had a kind of nationwide tour, and it gave the talent the opportunity to have live performances and all the kind of skills and guidance you need in order to improve your craft and kind of showcase your music. And that went extremely well. And Mike Lowry, phenomenal talent that they are, kind of picked up Mobo Unsung Award this year.
When the opportunity came along for us to enter the competition, we
snatched it with both
hands, and yeah, we didn't look back. It's been fantastic for us, and we've got a lot out of it.
Their manager, Esker Williams, very talented artist. I mean, he won Mobo Unsung in 2012, and what I love is the way he's taken the baton and he's passing it on. He's now providing all that support, and I hope it will go, you know, I hope Mike Lowry will also pass on everything that they've learnt to up-and-coming artists in the future. We launched the Mobo movement at the House of Commons in March.
I was so pleased when Kanye talked to me about this event. It's now starting this new, really, really important project, which is to make sure that not just in front of the camera and not just on the stage, but behind the camera, in our boardrooms, in our different creative industries, we've got diversity.
After 2 decades of influencing generations of musical artists to aspire to greatness, as part of its 20th year, Mobo launched the Mobo Season, a month of cultural and entertaining events to inspire future talent right across the creative industries.
I want Mobo to be about supporting those talented individuals, whatever their chosen career paths, and who are not just about waiting for things to come to them, but who are intent on making their own particular mark. That's what the future of Mobo should be about.
Mine's so Stormzy, we can skeng man live in the flesh. DJ Tiny, Mobo Awards, we're inside the building.
The Mobos, the difference it's made to me is that I feel like after the Mobo, so many more people had just seen my face.
Winning that Mobo meant that I was appreciated as a solo artist, and it was the beginning of what I would like to be a very long journey and a very long career.
It's almost like once the Mobos recognise you, other people stand up and recognise you as well.
I think the Mobo Awards it's like a big, amazing door that can open for an artist trying to break through. People that follow the Mobos and watch it every year, it's so huge.
That's part of the inspiration of Mobos, is to believe that you can be on that stage.
Definitely looking forward to this year's Mobos at Leeds, a new location. And every time it's a new location, I think the Mobos like to go the extra miles.
What's exciting about this year's Mobo Awards is the fact that we're going to Leeds for the very first time. So I'm really excited to meet all of the people of Leeds. I've been there many times before, DJ'd there, visited there, you know, been clubbing there. So it'll be nice to take the Mobos there.
I'm gassed that it's the 20th anniversary, so I feel like it's going to be like a proper like, big, sick celebration. So I'm happy that I'm nominated. I'm happy that I'll be there. The 20th, yeah, man, I'm 22, so Mobos is flipping only 2 years younger than me.